Hello everyone! So this is a set of nails I did recently on the lovely Laura, who is one of my glitter fairies and admins on my Facebook group. She came to me and I've filed off her previous set, so there's a bit of a acrylic, like thin base on her natural nails, so I'm re-sculpting out. And I'm just applying that thin clear base from the tip out, ready to get on with this design. I'm going to put just a little bit of clear on the body of the nail. And then I'm getting a decent size bead of birthday suit from CJP, applying just in front of the cuticle area. And then just gently blending back to get that nice flush cuticle line. And then I'm gonna pat, tap and pull that acrylic forward. Because I'm using a core powder, so this is a strength powder, I'm creating my shape and structure at the same time. This isn't birthday suit, I lied. This is Rosa, which has a little bit of glitter in it. So I just blended it off at the end there, and then I'm coming in, placing my second bead on. I'm going to blend that back. And then I'm just going to pull that forward, creating the rest of that nail. It's a bit lumpy at that join, but I'm not worried because I've got the structure I want, and a bit of that kind of bulk I will be filing off. Just going to add a little bit just to smooth it out a bit. But I can see I've got enough product there. If I file it into place, I'll end up with the right shape that I want. Let that get to a point where it's set enough, and then I'm just going to pinch that nail. Now moving on to the ring finger. I've already applied the thin clear base, and then I'm coming in with this glitter. Oh, this glitter. Oh, this glitter. I wanted to make a boyfriend for Arabian Princess, basically, and I think I succeeded. Anyone who follows the group will have seen this glitter being shared when I did Laura's nails, and everyone's been eagerly awaiting it. So this, if you saw the YouTube competition video earlier on this month, you will have seen this glitter. It is due to be released. It's a Mix It Up Monday glitter, due to be released the end of April, and it is beautiful. It's one of those that every now and then I mix a glitter and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's amazing. So I just use small beads of wet clear acrylic there to pick up the glitter, place on the nail, move it around with the tip of the brush until I was happy with where it was, and then I'm capping that entire nail in crystal glass. Because I'm sculpting out and I will be pinching these, I don't leave it too long for that acrylic, well, the glitter to kind of set in place, so I might give it 10-20 seconds before I cap, just so that the glitter isn't going to slide around too much. But often when I'm doing a redesign, I'll leave it for a minute or two or go off and do other nails. I wouldn't do that if I'm going to try and get a pinch in there, so making sure that I'm capping that at a decent time so that then I will get a good pinch on that nail. Doing as much as I can, as always, with my brush, so that filing is just refining rather than creating the shape that I want, because it's so much easier to mould the acrylic while it's wet than have to file it away when it's dry. Make sure I'm looking at it from all angles so I'm 100% happy. And moving on to the other nail. This I'm going to do a reverse French with. Now normally I'd have started with this. If I had an actual plan in my head, I'd have kind of started with this nail so that I'd have done the body of the cover pink first, done the little finger, ring finger, and then by the time I got here I'd have been able to file that and get on with the white, but I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing with each nail and just kind of winging it. So I've used a bead of that cover pink Rosa. I took out a decent amount of liquid from the back of the bead, so it was nice and not solid, but nice and dry, so it was easy for me to place exactly where I want it and can really sculpt with the point of my brush, get that really nice point I want. Then coming in with a second bead, placing this near the cuticle area and blending forward. So again, that nice blend in there. And then capping that entire nail in crystal glass. And then when that's set, I'm going to file that smile line nice and crisp. Making sure I'm pushing against the acrylic, not down onto that form, always pushing against the acrylic so you're filing that. But if you do knock your form off or out of place, you can always readjust it or put on a fresh form. Once I'm happy with the smile line, I'm coming in with a bead of white, making a bit of a mess there. Placing it right in the centre and then pushing up into the wings, making sure that white gets nicely up into those wings so you get that really nice crisp smile line. And then when that's setting, going on to that index finger. And on this one I'm going to do an ombre. So I'm coming in with my white, placing it kind of at the free edge and then blending up. Then pulling down the cover of the nail. I'm then going to come in with that cover pink Rosa near that cuticle area and blend it down. Adding a little bit there because I can see a bit of that white peeking through. And then when I'm happy with that, I will cap that in crystal glass. And then when I'm all finished, I'm going to file those noils in, whatever they are. So I'm going to file those nails in. So my usual, I'm doing sidewall, and then just doing a line underneath, making sure that they're nice and coming straight out from those nails. No frills. Doing the free edge. And then I'm going to go gently around that cuticle area. Make sure I'm really happy with that shape there. And then gently around that cuticle area. Going nicely out of shot there. You've seen me file plenty of times. And then down the entire body of the nail. Making sure not to stay in one place too long. Don't want to let any heat build up while we're filing. Checking the nail from all angles to make sure I'm happy with the shape and the structure of it. Okay, and then when I'm all finished with this, I'm going to start decorating the nails. Have you noticed we're doing a 20-minute long video? I forgot to say I hope you're sitting comfortably at the beginning, but yeah. Which will probably take 4 days to upload with my Wi-Fi, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. So I applied my CJP LED Topgloss on my pinky finger. And then I decided I wanted to put something over it. So I then used my, what are they called? Galaxy flakes in Neptune, using a silicone tool to apply these. And I just rub those in to that tacky layer. Not tacky layer, the tack-free layer, but while it's warm, so it's come straight out the lamp. And I'm just rubbing that in. And these are awesome, so you get a really nice kind of crystal chromey effect with like the speckled egg look with the holographic as well. It's really hard. They just look like awesome galaxy nails basically. How pretty. Okay, and then we're going to top coat this. We're going to double top coat. So the first top coat we're going to cure for 30 seconds, and then we're going to apply a second coat and cure for 60 seconds. And now I'm going to use some crystals from my Crystal and Crystal AB, my crystal shades, crystal wheels. Obviously I've put a few refill packs in mine. I like a lot of crystals. I get through a lot of crystals. And oh, that glitter on her ring finger. Even when it's matte and not top coated, it's still so pretty. So I'm just going to use a little dab of CJP gripper glue, and then I'm using my wax pencil to pick up these Crystal AB crystals. And just creating like a little triangle kind the shape for the cuticle area down. It's like I finished my design and then I'm like, nope, I can fit some more in there. I can definitely fit more in. And I can't stop. Okay, and I'm happy with that design. I'm then going to top coat. So remember to butt your top coat up against those crystals, but not over. That'll just help them stick, but they'll keep super shiny as well. And then I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. So now I'm going to do a cluster on this French. I wasn't happy with my French. I could have done a deeper smile line. Wasn't, yeah, I feel like I've lost a bit of my mojo. I've lost my mojo. So it's coming back because I've had that time off. I'm taking a little while to get back into my stride, which is becoming a bit frustrating. So I'm seeing more faults than I usually do in my sets. But we'll get there, we'll get there. So with this nail, I'm going to create a cluster. So I'm using my crystals from my Tiara cluster set from the Glitter Fairy. And I'm using Akzentz Bling On, which is a gel, which is perfect for this because it's a nice thick gel. But as you can see, I always cure it in stages, because if you put a bead of gel on and then put loads of crystals in it, when you cure it in the light, you're not going to get rid of, it's not going to fully cure. So taking my time to make sure I just add a few at a time. Part curing, and then when I'm happy with that, I'm going to come in and add some of the flat backs. So these cluster sets, they have various size like pointed chaton back crystals and various size flat backs. So you'll be able to get a decent amount of clusters out of these sets. I'm just trying to make that design nicely flow along the nail, making it super mega blingy. And then I'm going to use my detailer brush and my top coat to top coat around these nails. So you want to make sure you're going as close up against those crystals as you can without going over them. Getting into all the little nooks and crannies. And then I'll be curing that for 60 seconds in my LED light. And then final nail, I'm just going to do a crystal trail. So I kind of start in one corner and like do an S across the nail. So the trick to this is you want to make sure at the two ends you taper off into the smaller crystals, and then in the centre you can make it either do like a single line, or you can double the line up in places. Try not to make it too straight. Try to alternate the sizes of crystals and mix it up a bit. Like if you're doing a straight line down the nails, that always looks nice, like with the same size or getting bigger at the middle, and you've got the same amount of crystals either side of the biggest crystal. But when you're doing a trail, I always think it looks nicer to have that really random sizes and no real pattern. And sometimes almost like balancing a big crystal like right next to a small crystal, and then putting like a bunch of small crystals together. So you just want to make it just flow nicely, and sometimes when it looks too straight or too uniform, it stops that nice flow across the nail. I hope that makes sense. My hands are going mad as I'm describing this during the voiceover, which is very helpful for you, I know. And then tapering off into the tiny crystals. And throwing them all over the towel. And then when I'm happy with that, I'm going to top coat that. So sometimes I top coat with the brush from my top coat, other times I use my detailer. It's whatever you're happy with. With a trail like this, I often find it quite easy to come in with my brush, but sometimes it's a little trickier. There you go. And again, I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds in my LED light. And when that's all done, I'm just going in with my cleanse around my cluster, because that has had the Bling On has a tacky layer, so you need to get right in there. So I really soak that pad and get right in there to remove that tacky layer. And then I'm popping on some cuticle oil once all those nails have really cooled off from the lamp. And there you have it, a super, super blingy set of nails for the fabulous Miss Laura. So I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. I really enjoyed doing the set of nails. Again, if you follow me on Facebook, you know Laura and I managed to get through 2 bottles of bubbly while doing these nails. So I was amazed they turned out as well as they did. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you've found this useful. Don't forget, if you've got any questions or comments, to pop them below. As I have previously mentioned, I now have a little donation link below. So again, if you find my videos useful or my blog useful or anything like that, and you would like to give a little donation, however small or large, does not matter, there is a link below in the description along with all the products I have used. So again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you stuck through to the end in this really long video, and I will see you all soon. Bye!